It turns on. We are just about to roll over to 6:30 here, so I'm going to go ahead and I think we're good to call us to order at 6:30. We could get a roll call, please. Greer, Hanauer Friedman,
Here.
Locke,
Here.
Smith,
Present.
Vanek Theranot,
Here.
Wilson,
Here.
Furtado,
Here.
Lakshan. Here. All right, we have quorum. Looking for approval of the agenda and agenda for tonight? Well, I don't think we have any agenda, do we? Got Locke and second by Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passes. Approval of the minutes from December 5th, 2023. Again, Locke and Smith. Let's switch it up this time. Let's do Smith and then Locke seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, do we have any public participation this evening? No? Seeing none, we can move ahead to communications. Does anybody on the board have any communications to share? Flying through. All right, on to new business. Start with item A, 6A, update on ITB 2022-008, County Plaza renovation project. We have Bailey, Edward, and Brian Russo here. Sounds like I'm giving your names, doesn't it? Oh. Ooh, about to ask if you're plugging in pictures there, but it looks like got those up. Okay.
Yep, sorry, some photos here. So this is in the lower level sheriff's area, the secure evidence lockers. So we're able to get those in last week. They got those finalized. So the sheriff came out on Friday and saw them and was pretty pleased. So that's some of the new finished work going in. And then
Hang on, too fast.
fast scroll here. And then that's the back side. That'll be your secure side through access control and card reader to gather the evidence. Exterior curtain wall is progressing. We had a bad week and a half with the weather there, with the rain and the cold temps, but we're back on the east side here. From this picture, we've actually got that bay that they're working on now complete. So we'll be jumping back to that north one in between those and then wrapping the corner, hopefully get another 2 with the nice temps this week and forecast for next week as well. Interior spaces, this is 4th floor. Ceilings are complete up there. We had a flooring delivery earlier this week, so we're going to be starting flooring hopefully middle of next week. Interior restrooms, this is 2, 3, and 4. All these are complete for the single-use restrooms on the north side. Flooring delivery, got pallets there doing temperature and humidity readings to make sure we fall in line with the manufacturer's guidelines there. So everything's been well within the guidelines, so we're looking forward to getting that started next week. 5th floor, with that recent wall change RP, we're able to get it back up there and get that reframed. So we had the city inspection last week, so we'll be starting to one side and drywall that this coming week. Rooftop units, finally got to see those on site. So we had our first round early January, and then our last 3 got delivered on the 30th. So those are fully set, tied in. So now we're working on wiring and the electrical connections to those. A couple other shots of those. All the metal coping on the roof and gutters, all the new work up there is complete as well. Interior soffits, that work is ongoing from the approval of the RP last month. So those are taking place throughout the building to allow us to progress with ceilings. And then here's a shot of the northwest corner as we tied that in. The closure metal pieces where that plywood is at, those got delivered to Champaign this week, so they're going to start working on those as they become available. And then here's a picture of our crane delivery last Tuesday. So coordinated well with the city of Urbana on that shutdown for the mid-morning there, so no issues with that. Any questions on the photos? Yep.
Just one that came to mind. The plumbing connections and stuff for the building, I noticed on the fourth floor, it was complete, but it's not ready to use, so my assumption was water and connections and stuff like that still need to be made.
Yeah, all the connections are completed. We've gone through the filling and pressurizing of the system to make sure that we don't have any leaks. Once we get the air handlers and the temporary power removed from the building, we'll be able to fire up the VAVs and then do a flow test and balance those VAVs up there. So.
Okay, thank you.
Jen?
I just wanted to say, as an Urbana resident, I really appreciate how well y'all coordinated that, because they were letting us know on our neighborhood newsletters, like, hey, avoid the street during this time. So thank you. It's been much appreciated.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I don't see that because I wasn't in Urbana, but I'm glad that they are holding their end of the coordination there. So
It looks like from the fourth floor picture too, you were able to preserve the wall tile in that bathroom, or that was?
that's actually your new restroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That looked like what was in there before. It was,
all the old tile from basically right behind this restroom is the old existing restrooms. Yeah, all that will remain. So none of that will be damaged. So that'll be turned over as well.
any other questions, comments? No? Okay. So we can move on to the change orders for ITB 2022-008 County Plaza renovation project. Here's the fun part. You want to start with those? Okay.
Certainly. So you should have copies of all the change orders in your packet. The first one, number 25, is to add duress buttons to the public transaction windows. During design, we had gone kind of back and forth about, do we do duress buttons, not do duress buttons? And there was some conversation about having a button tied to the phone system. So we weren't going to do duress buttons, and I think ultimately now we're at duress buttons. So there is a change order to add those back into the project. Well, not back into, but add those to the project. So that is the 25. So if there are any questions about that one.
Did you say for this one it's for all public-facing windows, or is this for specific offices?
It'll be 22. I don't know the exact count, but it should take into consideration majority of the public spaces, yes. It's 22 duress buttons along with 2 cameras for the 4th floor.
Any questions? Yep.
All right. 26 is the ad for for conduit for an EV charging station for electric vehicles in the parking lot. Apparently, there's a grant that the county is going after to get some EV vehicles. I believe you guys have just purchased your first one, or in the process of purchasing. Yep. So this will at least allow conduit from inside the building to a location in the lower level that you can put an EV charging station in the future. And then also there is the, this change order includes moving all of the wireless access points from the sheriff's current facility to this facility. There, again, during design, it was discussed that they would do it themselves, and I think they've decided they want Braun Russo to do that work. So those are the 2 items on change order number 26.
Ellie?
What kind of electric vehicle did the county buy?
A 2023 Chevy Bolt EUV. We got rid of the Grand Caravan that they don't need any longer to haul goods around, and they just tootle from the courthouse to Brookins to the mail. So it's way more efficient.
Jeff? Official government words, yes.
Official government word, tootle. So so it's just one stub out, you're saying, for the EV charging station, or what is it, how many does it feed? Could it feed?
There's two, there'll be
For
two
two?
chargings. Yep.
Okay. All right, the capacity is for two.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
So this is for all county vehicles, just sheriff vehicles? This is,
My understanding is it's for county vehicles. It is outside the sheriff's secure area, but
yeah,
it
that's
is on
what I
the
was
lower
wondering.
level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments on 26? All right. On to 27.
All right, great. 27, during demolition, it was found in the south shaft, mechanical shaft, that there was not a floor where we thought there was a floor. And there was some questionable fire rating installations on the walls. And so this change order addresses the installation of a floor to separate levels 2 and 3.
Yep.
And where we thought there was a floor, and to go back and patch various locations in that shaft to make it a 2-hour rated enclosure.
Yeah, this is following the city inspection that has taken place throughout the building. That's been a comment of his throughout the walkthroughs of this is an area that needs addressed to bring up to code. So that's kind of a result of how this change order got brought about.
Mr. Wilson?
Just a curiosity question. So the fire ratings are 2? Are there some that are 3? Is 3 the maximum fire rating?
3 is not the maximum. There is a 4-hour rated.
Oh, 4-hour? Okay.
Rating, but not in this building. In this building, I believe 2-hour is
Is
your
that the
max.
standard, is 2 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the location. We have a lot of 1-hour rated walls and then 2-hour rated shaft walls.
Okay, thanks. I'm just working on a project where they want a 5-hour rating, so I just don't know how they're gonna do that, but it's nuclear stuff, so.
Any other questions or comments on 27? Okay, on to 28.
28 is to add a water hydrant or hose bib to the penthouse to allow maintenance access to water while they're on the roof. There was a water connection at the roof. However, it was not freeze resistant. Go ahead.
It is also located in your elevator shaft, which is now not allowed by Otis to have a water connection inside your penthouse. So part of that was the credit back from Davis Howe to eliminate that work that they were going to do to move it to a different location with a now frost-proof hose bib.
Questions, comments on 28? It's like an endless list of them today. On to 29.
Sorry, we weren't
No,
here
that's
in
okay.
January.
Yeah, we weren't here in
You're keeping us
January, yeah.
busy today. That's fine.
I wish there were less.
Yes,
If
I
that-
agree.
And so 29 is the, so when we had, it's really twofold. When we installed the structure at the 4th floor and 5th floor, some of the water lines had to be removed to install the structure for the reinforcing. It didn't, that water needs to be reinstalled because it was existing lines that we were planning on keeping anyway while they were cut so that we could put the steel in. The other issue is that when they ended up charging the system, there were leaks in the existing piping, in the existing copper, that we were, again, planning on keeping to certain locations like the restrooms. So this goes through and repairs those leaks as well.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, there's over 16 leaks just on one floor where valves had to be completely cut out, replaced. So that alone was the failing of the pressure test, city review. We could never hold pressure for that existing lines. So that cost is the replacement to bring those back up to a installation that can pass an inspection as well.
All right, any questions on this one, or anybody think of anything on the previous few? Oh, Beth?
Yeah, were those leaks present before you took the pipes out, or was it due to taking the pipes out and then putting them back, and just the stress on the pipes caused leaks?
Without really being in the building, running the VAVs, it's hard to tell. I mean, there's a lot of water throughout the building that we found just throughout demo. I don't see how the stress of the building would cause this amount of leaks at all these typical locations. So we found that the copper was a type M, which is not really suitable for this type of use. So a lot of that was upgraded to the appropriate type of copper for commercial buildings, which is a stronger type. So helps eliminate a lot of future issues as well moving forward.
Cool, thank you.
Stephanie?
Some more like general, just finance questions. I think I know this, but I just want to make sure I'm right. We could go up to 10%, right, on change orders before? I mean, is that what the contract says? That's like sort of the, or is there an outer bound? There
I don't
isn't?
recall there being an out of bound.
Okay.
I identified in the contract.
Yeah, it's not in the contract. Now, I don't know if procurement law or local procurement says what that upper limit is.
Yeah.
And I could certainly talk to Dana.
I just am from being finance chair, I'm just curious about that, because we're at 6.6% now. So, I mean, we still got a ways to go. I mean, I don't think it's shocking that this project that's old construction has way more change orders than new construction. That's just always the case. But I did also just want to make a comment that we have now passed the threshold of our bond funding. And now we're just on general revenue fund, because we bond funded 20 million on this, and we've, as of today, maybe as of the last one, no, I think it was of this one, we've crossed that threshold. So now we're just funding it from the general fund, from our general CARF. I probably should know this as being finance chair, like what, but maybe Steve, if you could look into that too. What is our, I mean, I don't think we're going to reach that, but we're 2/3 of the way there. So I just wanted to, on every project I've ever worked on in my life, it's always been 10% is considered the buffer you've got. I don't know if that's actually policy of this county. I probably should. But we're 2/3 of the way to the 10%. I just wanted to mention that. I mean, I think all of these are legitimate change orders. It's just from a financial perspective.
Any other questions, comments? All right, so I think we're looking at approval of these change orders for County Plaza renovation project. If I could get a motion. So moved. Smith, second Van Sternot. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, those pass. And then we move on to the elevator renovation project in the same building.
So we have some good news. The elevator machines have been reviewed, approved, and sent back and have been ordered. Otis, the contractor, has told us that they expect machines on site before May. So that is good news. They expect finishes in the cabs in probably mid to late April as well. So I think we could see some activity on the elevators probably mid to late April in anticipation of the machines showing up on site. So that's,
So by finishes on the cabs, that means like the interior design style,
Yes.
not actual
Yeah.
finished elevators, yes.
right, yeah,
Just to be
right.
clear,
Yeah,
yes.
just that, yeah, the finishes, yes, the materials to replace the cabs,
Right.
yes, will be on site, yes.
Okay,
They anticipate about 14 weeks per elevator. Hopefully it goes a little faster. But that's right now our schedule.
if anybody's faster at math than me, where does that put us on completion at this point?
I think we had figured it still puts us like February of '25 for all three of them. Obviously, they're going to work on the north elevator first, which would be designated the employee elevator. So there's some idea that maybe the sheriff will be able to move in and utilize the building early. And then as we get the public elevators done, then we can schedule out moving at that point.
Okay, questions, comments, concerns? All right, thank you for that update.
Yep.
Okay, and Carla, stay up here for next item was update on the courthouse parking
For
lot
the-
access control.
The courthouse parking lot, so there was some delay in ordering the gate arm. And then, as you guys know, as soon as we got that all settled, it got cold. So right now, we are on the list to start demolition. I have not been given a firm date to start that demolition, but I have requested at least 2 weeks' notice so that the county can alert the courthouse employees that that entrance will be shut down. Now, they'll still be able to access the parking lot through the north entrance. There may be some disruption to the parking lot, parking spaces that are closest to the south entry, but we have the plaza parking lot across the street where we could relocate a handful of the staff.
Great, I know we'd had some questions from staff who work in the courthouse about the status of that one, so we can pass that along. Any other questions or comments on the courthouse parking? All right, thank you, Carla.
Thank you.
Moving on to update on ITB 2022-009 satellite jail construction. We have representatives from Reef Stick Reed and PJ Her Construction. I could say Chris and Matt, hello. You'll want to hit the button on that microphone before you start.
These are great pictures.
A lot of light in the building, yeah.
Really snowy.
We've made more progress than this. I can promise you.
We do, if these are the correct pictures, we do have pictures in our packets as well that we can
Well, I had-
refer to if those won't come up, but.
Okay, so we'll start over. Yeah, if you can look at the pictures in your packet. I'll try to go off of memory here. I know, just a general update on.
Oh, you can take, I can pass you one of those.
But, thank you, yeah. A quick update on progress in general for the project. So the project, I think since we last met, we were just finishing up the roofing. So the project's under, the building's under roof. The south side of the building is in the finishing stages. The north side's following behind a bit, just the natural sequence of the project. We have all our mechanical units installed, our generators installed, all the long lead equipment's in, and we're doing bricks. So you'll start to see the building as you guys drive by, be covered in the nice brick we've selected. But in general, the pictures, let me get to them real quick. There we go. Okay, so, yeah, these pictures here apparently are distorted a little bit, but you can see here in the building height, you can start to see the skylights. There's several skylights on both the south and the north side, and these give natural light to the day rooms and the different spaces that the inmates will be in. You can see your third picture there gives a nice, I'm trying to give a nice view of the main guard station in the south pod, where they'll be able to view every cell. It's all in the finishing stages. Paint's going on now, and it's progressing very well on the south side. Your fourth picture, that's showing you the north half where we're at. We'll be wrapping up all our masonry, interior masonry next week. A lot of the painting is already going. And all the rough-in is done on the south side, so all the mechanical ductwork and all that, and the piping, it's all installed. And on the north side, it's probably 70% done. So here before long, we'll be painting the rest of the north side and trying to catch up with the south side, but it's about a month behind the south side on purpose. And then, like I said, on the exterior, you can see where we're set up. We're getting ready to install brick. Tomorrow is we'll lay our first brick tomorrow. So we've been working for a week, prepping all of our equipment and doing the installation and the flashing. There's a lot of kind of detail work before you start laying the brick. So that is our progress. I actually had a lot more pictures here for you, different ones too, but I could send those to Steve and he could share those with you.
That would be good, thanks.
Okay.
Any questions on the project in general or what we've seen here? Still a little bummed we're not going to have a teal exterior, but I saw that in the last picture, still the teal wall. All right, then we can move on to the discussion and approval of change orders for ITB 2022-009, and that's the jail consolidation project.
Thank you very much. So, change order number 23 was to repair gas leaks that were found in the existing building. That was for $3,453.04. Change order number 24 was to revise the number and size of the wires that were required from the transformer to the interior switchboard. That was for $3,093.92. Change order number 25 is to provide 2 fire extinguishers in the south pod that that needed to be added. $2,661.75. Change order number 26 is for modifications to the paint inside the cells to match ceiling and walls to ensure that all of the walls and ceilings have the same type, ensuring better adhesion for the substrate, and so to make sure that all sealants matched and adhered properly. Change order number 27 is a credit of $39,848. There were some redundancies found that we determined could be eliminated in the ceiling assemblies. Change order number 28 is adding omitted lighting controls to the recreation spaces. That was for $10,168.77.
All right, any questions, comments on these? Mr. Wilson?
On the transformer to control center, the wiring change, was it larger wires, bigger wires, more gauge, higher gauge, lesser gauge, longer? What was the reason for the wire change?
The best I can tell you, since I'm not the electrical engineer, is that the sizes that was assumed, I think they assumed 4 sets of smaller size wire, and it actually turned out to be 3 sets of larger size wire that was needed. That's the
That's your story, okay.
that's as best as I could describe it.
All righty. Thanks.
Ellie?
The first one was for a gas leak in the existing building. Were there any issues for the current jail because of that? I don't know if this is more of a.
No, there were, we were in there doing some work, and as we're testing different things, we just noticed some old areas that could be updated and get repaired for general safety. It wasn't a huge concern or anything, but since we were there working, we decided to offer to repair them, and we made repairs while we were in there. Yep.
I was curious about the fire extinguishers. Was that addition after like a fire inspection? Do we think we had enough and there were more needed, or?
No, it was an omission. We had shown fire extinguisher cabinets in the north pod, and for some reason they were left off of a south pod, so we added those back in.
All right. Seeing no other comments on those, can I get a motion to approve change orders for ITB 2022-009 Satellite Jail Consolidation Project? Moved by Vanich Sternot, second by Locke. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, that passes. And that's it for tonight. So I have no other business. Ms. Furtado.
I probably could have done this with each group, but I wanted to just read the minority labor participation. It's kind of beyond my comprehension that this is not in the packet, but it's not. I appreciate the contractors did what y'all were supposed to do and got us the data, but somehow it didn't end up in our packet. And like, this just needs to be in the packet every month. I don't know how to make that clear. But thank you all for getting us the data. So what is not in the packet, but this is the data, is for the jail project from PJ Howard. The latest is through January, the cumulative previous month participation of females is 1.9%, and then for this current month of the last month of January was 1%. Minority participation for cumulative previous months was 9%. Current participation is 13%, most impressive, and we did not require them to track veterans, so we don't have that data for that one. For Bern Russo, the cumulative previous month female participation was 4.7%. The current is 3.8%. Previous month cumulative minority participation was 18.5%. Current participation is 15.8%, and veteran participation is 1%, holding steady across those contracts. But we definitely have members of the public that are interested in this. This date, like, this is not the way, like, me talking it should not be the way that it's on the record. It just needs to be in the packet. Those two little charts, the contractors are doing all this work to give us that data. We just need to make sure that that data gets put into the actual packet for the updates, because it's important. And again, I really appreciate the work, and I really appreciate how much you've gotten the numbers up since the summer, both of you. It's noticeable, so thank you. And I know that's because of the effort you've put into it.
Thank you. Is it possible to amend the packet to add those to the website for this month's meeting?
Yeah, if I can get a copy of it, I can post them online along with the packet.
Yeah, thanks.
So, yeah.
That was not directed at anybody. That was just like, I don't know. I thought we put all this pressure on them to get us this data, and then I got the packet, it wasn't in there. I was like, I don't know. I give up.
All right. Any other business? Okay, so, oh, what?
No, sorry.
Sorry, okay. Okay, okay. Sorry, wasn't sure what was going on. Okay. Our next meeting will be March 5th at 6:30. The items to be placed on the consent agenda are 6B and 6F, and we are adjourned here at 7:04.